Hey Flosstube, it is Michelle from Made by Michelle McGraw, and I am back with Flosstube number 50 some. I'll put it in the description. I will figure it out when I upload it. It is September 1st, 2021, and I am back for another Flosstube. I have a lot to show, so I'm gonna jump in. Thank you everybody for always being patient with me. I try to do videos every 2 weeks. I will say sometimes it just gets too hard to find quiet time to be able to do that. So we have a new puppy in the house. So if you have followed me for any time, you know that my son and his girlfriend got a new puppy a month or so back, and the puppy was exposed to parvo at the breeder. We suspected that the puppy wasn't quite acting right, took it into the emergency vet within 2 days of having the puppy, and like a day and a half of having the puppy. And sure enough, the puppy had parvo, as did basically the whole litter was exposed. To make the matters worse, unfortunately, this was not a good breeder, and she was lying to people and telling them that she didn't have any puppies that had parvo, where my son's was the first to be diagnosed and was the first in the hospital. So luckily there was a group of ones that had gotten the puppies, and they had found each other and came together and were talking. Unfortunately, 3 of the puppies that we know of passed away. Our dog was in the emergency vet for a week, and they did everything they could. He had checked the boxes, thought he was okay to come home, and he was not. So he ended up back in the emergency vet just within hours of coming home, and then they couldn't stabilize him. So at that time, it was the right decision to put him down. Lots of things were going wrong. So as with parvo, it is a nasty, I guess disease that they get. I'm not sure. But it also can live on surfaces for many, many years. They're not really sure how long. We bleached our front yard. Yes, I bleached my front yard. We live in the country. It's okay. I didn't care if it killed the grass, because we don't want to spread parvo to any other animals. So we bleached our front yard where he had used the restroom. Luckily, it was in a separate area from where our other dogs used the bathroom, although our other dogs are adult dogs and have had all their shots. Once your puppy gets all of their puppy shots that they get, which parvo is one of the first shots that they get, but they can still get it. So luckily that was in a separate area, but, and we were all very upset and saddened because he was a sweet, sweet dog, adorable. But I do believe I had lost a puppy at 11 months before from kidney failure. And I'll never forget, it was the very first dog that I ever had die. And my husband had grown up on a farm and around farm animals, and he said, this is part of life, and this is part of owning animals. And that was hard to hear, but it's true. And he said, hopefully in your life, you will bury several dogs, because that means that you had the joy of knowing several dogs. And I was like, well, you're right. And so shortly after I had to put my dog down, this was when we were first married, I got another dog. And I will say that that helped, because puppies keep you on your toes. And Moose is his name. So if you want to see pictures of him, go to my Instagram, Made by Michelle McGraw. Moose is adorable. He is all puppy. He is playing. He is annoying our other dogs, annoying our cat, kind of, because our cat doesn't care. She just wants him to stop messing with her and barking at her. But she could care less. She doesn't care about any of the dogs here. She's just part of the pack. So she's not a real cat. So, but the other dogs are slowly working up to him, warming up. They are playing with him now. Yesterday, they were running around chasing each other. My older dog doesn't do that. He's a little arthritic, so he doesn't like to do that kind of play, but the younger two do. And so they were playing with Moose. Moose loves to play the toys. So my house is scattered with toys all the time. Right now, my son is on a bachelor party hunting trip for a buddy of his that is getting married. They are going to Texas. So they're on their way for this big group. I think there's 9 of them going down there. So his girlfriend is watching the puppy through Friday, and then she goes out of town with her family for the holiday weekend, and me and my younger two sons are going to watch the puppy, because my husband is with my oldest son. He's on the trip as well, and so we're going to watch the puppy through the weekend. And so it is quiet here. We're not hearing the squeaking of his toys that we constantly hear. The other dogs are kind of looking for him. So I think Friday when he comes back home, they're going to be thrilled to see him. So it is a joy to have a puppy in the house again. But let me tell you, it is work. Like when I watch him, I get down on the floor and I'm playing with him, and then he's playing and then he takes off running. And you can't not go get him, because he's a puppy, so you don't know what he's going to get into, and he might twinkle on the floor. Thank goodness I have hardwood floors, so they're easy to clean. But like, you have to clean that. Like you want to discourage that. We're potty training, you know. So I think I got off the floor 100 times one day when I was watching him in the afternoon. My hips were so sore that night, like just climbing back and forth off the floor. And so puppies are work, but he is super sweet and we are happy that he's here. So, all right, enough about life updates. But if I don't get to make a floss tube, it's just because I need a quiet environment to make a floss tube. And when my kids are here, I have 3 boys. When my kids are here, they generally have people with them. So my house is always full. And so I need a quiet time to do it. So anyhow, 3 weeks sometimes is what it goes to. But here we are. We're here for the stitching. I have an awesome giveaway today. It is open to anybody, because these are going to be PDF patterns, and they are provided by Deb from Frog Cottage Designs. I'm going to show those in just a little bit and I'll explain more, but stay tuned so that you know how you can enter, because they are so fantastic. So let me show you. I have this sitting beside me, so I'm going to move it out of the way. This is my dough bowl. I get a lot of questions what my dough bowl is. This one sits on my table. It's a larger dough bowl, so that's a dough bowl. Okay, it sits on my table, and this is all my Frosted Pumpkin, Halloween Town, Mystery Halloween Town that I stitched. I think Penny's Potions is in here too. That I stitched. I changed the colors to follow Halloween Town. Yes, I think that's the colors I used. And then I also have, this is hard to do. I'll set it down in just a minute. This one is the Frosted Pumpkin Sampler, the Headless Horseman one. He's in here. And then this is the one Trick or Treat. That's the pattern. So this is all Frosted Pumpkin. I love it. I'm so happy with the way it turned out. And it sits on my kitchen table so I can see it when I come in. And I've showed those before in previous floss tubes, so I won't show them individually, but they are all stuck in my dough bowl, so I was so thrilled to have those. I also got a question about my card file and what cards do I use, because I've talked about it before. I use cards for my whips. And they are, this is actually cut cardstock, and it's only because I have a lot for my scrapbooking days, so I use what I have. And I cut it down. I think these are, they fit the 5x8. These might be cut slightly smaller because they don't fit the whole width, but you can cut them however. But this is a 5x8 card holder. So let me show it. I make my own. I put my notes on there. I'll show you that in a minute. Let me show you the holder. This is the card catalog holder that I got from Amazon. And I will put a link down below. I don't make any money off of it. I'm just sharing it, that if you're looking for a system to keep track of your stitching, this is what works for me. I've been using it maybe over, it's been at least 8 or 9 months, maybe longer. I love, it has the alphabet cards up here, that came with it. And I filed them alphabetically by the name of the pattern. And then the front part is where I put anything that I'm working on or I finished that I'm going to show in my floss tube. So I just keep it up there. And then the back section, I keep blank cards back here for ready to go. I have them all cut up. This back section has a little tab. It came with, try not to bump the camera too. It came with a MC divider for the alphabet, but I don't use that in cross stitching. So I stuck it back here. I reversed it so it's plain. I'm sorry, you're seeing the shadow through. So it looks plain. I just reversed it. And this is where I put my finished cards. So when I have showed them on my floss tube, I've stitched it, I fully finished it, they go in my finished pile. So there's some of my finishes that I've had. Okay, I will link this in case you're interested. Let me put this out of the way, and I may bump the table just a minute. Oh, Lordy. Okay, I got that out of the way now. Cleaning out. All right, so I'll link that in case you're wondering if you're interested in something like that. Like I said, you can get 5x8 cards that fit it. I just made my own because I had it. And if you have cardstock, you can do that. What I do, here's one that I have an error on, so I'll show you how I do it. So I put the name of the pattern, the designer, I put my start date, always my fabric. As you can see, I changed my mind on this fabric, so I just line through it, put what my fabric is. Sometimes on big samplers, I will put my dimensions and how much border I have, just so that I know. I just put it all on here. And then any notes I put down here, I'm using the fat quarter thread pack for this, so I noted that. So those are just my notes to myself, any color substitutions, and you can write on the back as well. So it works for me. There's no lines, but it's what I use. It's very handy and I like it. So if that helps anybody, there you go. All right, let's sew some finishes and then we're gonna do our giveaway so that you know. Okay, so I have 4 fully finished that I wanna show. And the first one is my Halloween Quaker. And this is a free pattern from, it's Aurifil, and I found it on the Fat Quarter Shop blog. It's a little hard to find on their blog, but that's where I originally found it. I think if you Google Aurifil plus free Quaker pattern, it comes up. I think that's an easier way to find it than going through the blog, but that's where it's at. I started this several years ago and I just finished it. There was supposed to be a different motif here and I changed it for my initials and the date that I finished it, just to put in the Quaker. I can't remember what was supposed to be there, maybe a star, but I wanted my initials and the date on it. So I really like this. I just picked my own colors. I did not go, I don't think the pattern specifies the colors, or maybe it did and I didn't have the Aurifil thread, so I just picked my own. But it's really pretty. I did do this on a white washboard fabric, so you could see the line of the washboard fabric up there. I don't think that this was the best pattern to do on that fabric because I don't think it shows it well enough. I mean, you can see it, but I think maybe another pattern would have looked better on this fabric. I mean, I'm fine with it, but to get the full whiteboard effect of the fabric, that's a fabric flare fabric. I don't know that this was the best one to show, but I like it on it and the colors look nice on it. I just don't think it fully shows the board finish, so to speak. I backed this with fabric from I want to say this is Moda, but it may not be. I get all my fat quarter bundles. I buy bundles of fabric. I buy the fat quarters because I can get several finishes out of a piece of a fat quarter. And then all of the colors coordinate in that bundle, which that's nice because if I have multiple things to finish, the colors kind of all coordinate. It doesn't have to because they're facts, but I like it. So that's where normally I get most of my fabric from, is Fat Quarter Shop. And then I do have my label, and I'm trying to use up these labels because they have the date. And then I will order some new ones with the new year in a little while. But I wanted to use these up and see how much I use them. But I do really like the date on them. So I think that's going to be my standard to add the date. So that's my first finish. This is a nice big bulky pillow and I really, really like it. I do fill mine with lizard litter because it's crushed walnut shells. It's just cheaper to get it as lizard litter versus the craft version. And whatever end I sew up, I stuff these corners with fiber fill because you're never gonna get the corners because they kind of go up. Lizard litter doesn't travel up. So I fill the corners with some fiber fill as I'm closing it. And I like mine stuffed pretty tight. So that's why I get mine pretty tight. And I get them just to where I can close it real good, but not bulging, because I don't want it to stress the seam. That's how I know how much. Sometimes I have to dump some, sometimes I have to add some. So it's just whatever you like. Some people like a more floppy pillow. Some people like to do a bumpier fiber fill. Some people do like a rag. It's where you put scraps of fabric in it, and so it's like a bumpy, lumpy one. It's a really cute way to do it too. So it's just whatever you want to do. This is what I do. I like that they can stand up on their own when I use the lizard litter. As I'm trying to balance that on my hand to show you. Okay. The next finish that I have, this is not laying correctly, I'm gonna have to fix that, is from Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. And it is the Halloween, I don't know exactly the name. I've showed this finish before, but now it's fully finished. I did not do the border around the fabric. I also backstitched the eyes. I backstitched any white because of my fabric color that I chose. This is from X Jew Designs, and you can see it's like a grungy, I love it. But the white stitching did not show up excellent, so I just did a little back stitching so it would pop. I left the border off just to make it a little smaller. So I fully finished this with a couple different ribbons. There are actually 3 ribbons here. There's a satin ribbon, which I put a decorative stitch in. There is this ribbon, which is like, I don't know what you call that, but it's got the lacy part up there. And then there's another ribbon underneath here. So there's 3 layers of ribbon there. And then I tied it just in a simple knot, and these charms, this charm needs to be changed. So it lays flat, but there's a tombstone charm and a little Halloween hat. I used this backing fabric, which is the same as on the front. There's a fuzzy on there. And I just thought it really looked cute with the purple that was on there. So that is Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery, and I really like that. I love Frosted Pumpkin, as you can see from my tray. Okay, the last 2 that I fully finished are from Lizzy Kate. Yes, Lizzy Kate, Eek Boo Hiss. Now these were finished, I know they were finished last year. They might even have been finished the year before. So I'm going to show them together and then I'll show them individually. So these are it together. And they are, I did not do the Eek one. The Eek has an owl. I haven't done that. It wasn't my favorite, so I just moved on. I love, love, love the fabric. Now, this is old school stiff Aida. This is something I had in my stash for a really long time. I want to say it is close to nutmeg because I have a piece that says nutmeg. It's very close to that color of Aida. But I don't know the color of this, but I loved the black pops and these lighter colors pop on it, and it's just perfect. So this is another piece from a Fat Quarter bundle, and I thought it popped that purple just fantastic. I added a ribbon here, just a black ribbon that I have from Stash. A lot of times I stitch my ribbons down. It's kind of like scrapbooking. If you ever scrapbooked and you had a seam, you could put something across the seam just to like hide the joint of 2 papers. That's kind of what I do with my ribbon sometimes. I hide the joint of 2 fabrics. And then I added this charm, which is just an owl from my stash. Here's the backing. Once again, I'm using my labels with my year on it. I do get my labels off of Etsy. I have linked the store that I use the most in several of my floss tubes. So just go back and look at the show notes. It is linked there. I'm not affiliated with them, but I order tons of these iron-on labels from them, and I've always been very, very happy with everything that they've done. So you could check them out. Just go back. I think it's, I'm going to say it wrong. Ember something or another. No, Ever something. look at my show notes. I have it. All right, this is the next one. This is Boo. And I loved this fabric with this. And she also has a different owl there. And there's the backing. So I love those. I can't wait to add those to my Halloween displays. So I think I have 3 or 4 more fall finishes that I have to fully finish. I have one that I know I'm not going to fully finish this year. It is Miles from Lizzy Kate, the Pilgrim set. And I'm not going to fully finish him this year because I haven't stitched the female. I think the female's name is Priscilla. And I haven't stitched her yet, and I want to finish them together. So I won't finish that one, but I think I have 3 or 4 more smalls to finish. And then I'll be moving on to start finishing my Christmas ones that I've been stitching, because I am currently stitching Christmas through the rest of the year. It's been fun. All right, let me do my giveaways, and then we will move on to my whips. Okay, so my giveaways are from Deb at Frog Cottage Designs. So to be entered in this giveaway, you can be anywhere in the world. These are going to be PDF patterns sent to you by Deb. And thank you, Deb, for donating these patterns. Not only are they fantastic patterns, she is a new-ish, because she's not totally new, designer, and she's just brilliant. So I love Deb. If you don't follow her, go and follow her. Frog Cottage Designs, Deb. She does have an Instagram. She does have a YouTube as well, or a Flosstube, and I will link both of those down below. So follow her, and then you're going to come back to me and you're going to say the magic words for each of the patterns. So she has very graciously donated these. This is Merry Christmas, which is a sweet, sweet pattern. I love this detail down here in the top and bottom. It's just very, very sweet, pretty lettering. So if you would like Merry Christmas, you're going to say Merry, M-E-R-R-Y. Make sure you spell it correctly. I mean, I think everybody knows how to spell Mary, but make sure you spell it correctly, because I use random comment generator, and I just plug those words right into it and it pulls out the winners. The next one is Jingle Ho 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 Merry, and it's called Merry and Bright. It's a set of 3 Christmas ornaments. These are super cute. So you've got Santa, a gingerbread, and the reindeer, and I think they're so cute, so quirky and silly. I just love them. So for this one, you're going to say Bright. So cute. Okay, keeping in Christmas, you're going to say Gingerbread from this one. And this is actually one that I really want to stitch. Look how cute. The little gingerbread kids. Oh my goodness, they're so sweet. I want to do a gingerbread display in my dough bowl in my kitchen, because I think that gingerbread is such a kitchen theme. So I am stitching the gingerbread patterns. So this is actually one that I like to do. Look how sweet they are. I love them. So for this one, you're going to say Gingerbread, and this is called Gingerbread Lane. Very, very cute. Now, I am done stitching Halloween for this year, but I'm going to go ahead and tell you these are adorable. So they're definitely going to be put on my list for next year because they're super sweet. This is called No Bones About It. It's Halloween. And this is super cute. Very, very cute. I love that skeleton. Very cute. For this one, you're going to say Bones. Very simple, Bones. Okay, this I think is my favorite because I am a sucker for a mummy. Put a mummy out there in Halloween and I'm a sucker. This is called Spooktacular. So this is so cute. It says Spooktacular on it, and that mummy, look at him. Too cute. Too cute, Deb. She had knocked it out of the park. So these designs are also she was in the Needlework Showcase, And so these are going to be going out to stores as well. So this is your chance to get a copy of it as a giveaway. So just say the words for this one. I think I said, say spooky. And so if you don't win them, look for them at your stores, or you can go to Deb. She also has a online store. So, and I don't know when they'll be, like, I don't know her details of when they'll be in her store, if they're out to other stores and then she puts them as a PDF in her store. I'm not sure, but they will eventually be in there, I'm sure. And you can contact her and ask her, and she can let you know. Okay. All right. The first one is a show, no show. So the first finish that I have, these are not fully finished, but just what I finished, is Mr. and Mrs. So I can't show you my finish because I took it to get framed. So this is for a wedding gift for a couple that's getting married for the bachelor party that my son is on. It is a sweet little pattern. It's not big. If you have to do a wedding gift and you don't want to do this big wedding sampler, but you still want to do something for the bride and groom, this is a perfect pattern. It's from Heart in Hand, and it is 65 by 59 high. So not hard. I stitched this in a day and a half, and then you just add their wedding date. Now I did change the colors, and I will show you all that when I get it back from being framed. So this one is going to kind of be, I'll show it again, but I needed to get it into framing in time for the wedding. So it went in. All right. Now we'll go on to things that I can actually show you. This is Stars and Stripes Delivery from Stitching with the Housewives. And it is stitched on 14 count Aida. And I'm going to move this slightly. Don't want to get anybody seasick. Okay. This is stitched on 14 count Aida using, I'm not sure that it's 100% of the called for colors. They're in the spirit of the called for colors. I think I pulled what I had in my bag from other Stitching with the Housewives finish. So they're probably very close. I know the red is the called for, the white is the called for. The green might be different, and no, I think the green is called for, but the blue is not, I know. The yellow might not be either. So this is the second ornament for my youngest. So I fully have finished 2 sets of ornaments for my boys. So 6 ornaments are done. They have to be fully finished. And now I'm picking their final ornament. I just picked out the final ornament for my youngest, which is a little squirrel out of a pattern, which was super cute. I'm stitching that for him because we call him Squirrel. Because literally sometimes he squirrels off and forgets to do what he's supposed to be doing. So it's, squirrel. That's what he does sometimes. It gets better with age. Not 100%, but it does get better. And so I picked that one because I really thought that would be a cute one to kind of remember that we called him Squirrel. I think I have picked my oldest son's. I haven't gotten the pattern. I ordered it from 123 Stitch, and it is Merry Moosemas. I ordered 2 that had a moose on it and said that, and I'm going to decide when they get here. I don't know. The one looked like it was a smaller, like could be ornament size, but it didn't list the dimensions on 123 Stitch. The other one I know will work, but I'm going to pick when they get here. So, and then I haven't picked out my middle son's ornament yet. It'll hit me. I will figure it out, but they're each getting 3 ornaments a piece this year from me. So I've gotten 2 sets completely done. Now I just have the fun one, and then I need to do my niece and nephew one. I will probably do my son's girlfriend's an ornament. Yeah, so lots of stitching happening. Okay, the next one I'm going to show you. I brought over the bag. Okay, so this is Nativity from Jan Lynn. Now, I got mine as a kit. 123 Stitch does carry this, but it's no longer a kit, and I did not realize that. I edited my show notes to let y'all know it's not a kit, it's just the pattern. But I will tell you, I am not using the floss because that's a hot mess. it did come with the backing felt. I'm going to use fabric. I'm not going to use the felt. And I'm not using the white fabric that came with it. So technically I'm using the pattern for the kit. So I didn't need the kit, but I've had this pattern a long time. It's actually now sold by Cooler. So it's the same pattern. And I wanted to show you the pattern so you could see the finish. I have done Mary, and now, okay, we're not gonna worry about that right now. Just throw that. I have completed the baby Jesus. So I am not gonna lie to you, this baby Jesus is stitched 100%. The back stitching makes it. When I stitched it, I was like, it doesn't look like anything. You start back stitching and it comes together. So there is the baby Jesus. It's very pretty, but boy, that back stitching is what you needed to back stitch it. I'm doing mine on 14 count natural Aida, just to give them a little bit different look. So this is the second one that's in the Manger series. I've done Mary and now I've done baby Jesus. Next will be Joseph, so that I can have the Holy Family done. If I get those done, that would be fantastic. I will keep trying to do one, like add more to it. But my goal for this year was the Holy Family. If I surpass that, that'll be great. But if I don't, then it'll go into next year's stitching. So we'll just see what I get to. Okay, this is Happy Nativity Day from the trilogy. And let me show you the pattern. So this is one that I had kitted up and I just needed to do it. I don't think I had it started at all. And I did this on 18 count. Let's see if I wrote it down. 18 count opalescent raw, I think is what it's called. It has a little bling to it. This is very, very pretty. And I think I used all of the called for. This will probably be an ornament, but I might, if I have enough to do like a nativity shelf on my tiered stand, it might be just stuck in there in the nativity shelf. We'll see. But I really, really love that. That's very pretty, very simple. So sweet. So I stitched that one. This one I started in 2019. Don't ask me why. I did not finish it. I started it and I just let it sit, and then I went back and I stitched on it. I just need to finish it. So I took it to work one day and I fully finished it. And it is Christmas Magic by Heart and Hand. Now, mine is a little different only because I changed the date to 2001 when I finished it. And it was supposed to have little beads right here instead of the stars. And I'll be honest, I didn't have a beading needle with me at work. And so I said, stars it is. It's not going to have beads on it. So I changed it. I did use the little star that came with it because I was able to put that on with the needle I had. And I'm fine with it not having beads. It's cute. This will probably end up being an ornament, but it could be for the dough bowl. I don't know. I won't know that until I start finishing, but either way, it's cute. Okay, keeping in line, I have been stitching the Little House Needleworks Hometown Holiday series, and this is my third in the series. So I am stitching the whole series on 14 count Picture This Plus Murky, and this one is the Caroling Quartet. So let me show you the pattern right there. Because I have done the church, I have done the pet store, and now my town needed people. So one change I made on this is this gold up here. I did it in Petite Treasure Braid, and there's some gold down here. So that's the only difference, and it's not really showing up on camera because it's a kind of a dull day today, but it's nice in person. It has a nice little bit of bling. So really cute. No, I don't cut my fabric straight. It's okay. When I fully finish it, I fix all that. but I don't, because I'm normally in a hurry. I don't do that. Sorry. Okay, the last fully finished that I have, I think, yes, is Gingy from, and I always get this name wrong, Fairy Wool in the Wood. This pattern is available on 123 Stitch. I'm sure it's in other stores, local needlework stores as well. I did this on a 16 count fabric from Etsy, one of those that my sister bought for me for my birthday. It does not have a name. I linked it in my last floss tube. It is a Russian fabric dyer, and my sister bought me several of hers, and I just thought that was a fun fabric to use. So here's the pattern. This is going in my gingerbread dough bowl. So isn't he cute? Now I did make one change on here. I did not put the bottom border here. So if you look on the pattern, it has a little bottom border there, and I didn't stitch that. And that was just to save a little bit of room because I didn't want him to be super, super long. So, because he's going in the dough bowl. But isn't he sweet? Now there is some bells and a candy, not candy corn. What is these called? Peppermint. What in the world is that thing called? Words have gone out of my mind. I know it, later on when I get off Flosstube, I'm gonna be like, oh my gosh, I knew what that was called. I know what it's called, I can't think of it. So, sorry. Anyhow, I have those charms and I haven't added them because I don't know where I'm gonna put them. So in the pattern, they show the bells up here where they attach it, and that may be where I put mine. And then they show the candy cane. Oh my God, candy cane. They show it down here. So when I fully finish those, I will add those or leave those off depending, I don't know. So I really like him on this fabric. It's just, I'll tell you why I chose this fabric. There's always a reason why I choose the fabric that I choose. Sometimes it's just the colors pop on it. Sometimes I really want to use a certain fabric that I got, which was the case here. I wanted to use the fabric, but it looked like a mixing bowl when you're cooking. And I thought, what perfect thing to put a gingerbread on a fabric that looked like the mixing bowl. I also like, and it's not showing up on camera. Yes, you can see it. There's a little bit of blue in the swirl of it. It's not a lot, it's just a little bit, but I really, really liked it. And I cut my fabric. This was a bigger piece. I cut it in half, so I have room to do something else on the other piece. So I love that. All right, so those are my fully finishes. Now we're gonna go into whips that I've been working on, and I do have a couple whips. Okay, this is a whip under here. I was like, where did that whip go? All right, so this is my Prairie Schooler bag of all of my Santas. Now, there are yearly Santas in here, which I've finished some of them, but I also have other Santas, and I don't think I pulled. Let me see if I can find it right quick. That's not the one. I have all these patterns in here. Oh, it's over here with my pattern. Okay, whoops. Let me open this. I have the reprint of this, so it's not the nice Prairie Schooler cardstock, but I kept it in its little cellophane, and I flipped the pattern backwards so that I would have the color chart. So let me just open it back up to the front cover page. Okay, so it's Old World Santas. Now these are adorable. I love these. I want to do them all. I want to do everything in this bag eventually. So I am doing this guy stepping into the chimney. And it just hit me that that's the one I wanted to do. So that's the one I'm working on. And here is my progress, which isn't a lot. So I'm working on him at work. All of these are done on Picture This Plus Murky. I have 18 count in here, and I also have 14 count in here. So it depends upon the pattern, which one I use. For this one, I am using 14 count. I know that. Okay, I'm not gonna bother putting all this back perfectly. I'll fix it. I'll fix it after the video. I'll fix that later. But I carry all of my patterns in there, all my Prairie Schooler Santas. I'm so sorry. All of my Prairie Schooler Santas are in here, and I just pick what calls to me on the ones that I want to do. And that Old World Santa, I love it. I love the idea of doing all the Santas and have them on my Christmas tree. Okay. I should say those are all full body Santas. Prairie Schooler has some like half Santas, and I don't have those in that bag yet because quite frankly I have a lot in there. I probably don't need to add those Santas yet, but I might just stick them in there eventually, because I love the idea of a whole Christmas tree of just Prairie School Santas like that. Just, yeah, but all Santas, not just the yearly ones, all of them. I love them all. So all right, my next whip, and I haven't done, I've done a little bit, but I haven't done tons on this one. I put it on my desk and I was working on it for a couple days, so I did get some progress. All right, this is Bethlehem by Imagining. So let me take it out of the Q-snap to show you. This is an old whip. When did I start this? 2019. So I really just need to finish this thing. Because it's nice. I just need to stitch it. I think the problem is when you're stitching something with one color, you kind of get bored and you swirl off, and wonder where my youngest gets it from. All right, let me put this on the board so the you could see it. You don't see through the fabric. Okay, so this is my progress so far. I am stitching this opposite. The pattern shows it light fabric with dark. I stitched it, here's the pattern. I am using Weeks Parchment. So, and it's just I liked the idea that it looked sandy and what you would think that it would look, and that's why I'm doing it. It does have really pretty variegation when you get up close. So there's a big border on here, so don't ignore that. But I do have more to go. I did get more stitches in. It is really pretty when I see it. And so every time I see it, I'm like, oh, I need to work on that. And maybe I just need to take this to work and like force myself to work on it. Like, you know, okay, if I have it, I'll work on it. If I have it with me. I'm making a mess today of my bags, and I really don't know why, but I am. I love that I have this in a Halloween bag. So organized. Okay, the last whip that I have worked on is my Prairie Schooler Alphabet. And this one is Christmas Alphabet. I am doing it, this shows it horizontally. I'm doing it vertically so that I can have a banner. And this is not my last whip. I do have another one. Let me take it out of the hoop so that you can see. I always want to say Q-snap, and I don't use Q-snaps. I use hoop. I did use Q-snaps for a long time. And I still have them, but I prefer a hoop just because my hand. So I am using, let me see what I'm stitching this on. Let me get this up so you can see it without the light through it. I have another huge border on here, so I will actually cut some of this fabric off. I am stitching this on 14 count Shadow from Picture This Plus, and I'm using the Fat Quarter thread pack. So let me see if I can find it in here to show you. Fat Quarter did a conversion. Yes, and it's Lori's Christmas Alphabet. And it comes with all the floss, and it gives you the symbols. So if you wanted to know, like, it gives you the symbols on the pattern, what floss to use. Fat Quarter Shop. And if you want to see what it looks like, there are some pictures out there that show the Christmas alphabet stitched with the Fat Quarter Shop things, but you can get an idea here. So there you go. I rarely change the colors on a Prairie Schooler because I love Prairie Schoolers, but I really liked the way the colors popped on the black. So that's why I changed it. So I have the first 6 letters done. I have the next 6 outlined. So my goal when I come back to this will be finish this 6. And hopefully I can get this done this year, and I want to make it into a banner. I have a banner that hangs in my kitchen on the side of a cabinet. So if you don't have a lot of wall space, that side panel of a cabinet is a great place to put a banner. That's what I do. But I would like to finish this so it can hang there, and I can have that for Christmas. Okay, I do have one more whip. I just started this last night, and I will show it to you. I'm not going to take it out of the hoop, but I am going to move my string out of the way because I'm stitching on this currently. This is Britter Cup Designs Britter Kitty Christmas Stocking. Now, I am not stitching this as a stocking. I am stitching this as a piece. So what I'm only doing is this cat, the Christmas tree. I'm not doing this cat, but I'm going to take these mice and move them up underneath this Christmas tree right here. So I won't do this cat either. So far, I started this last night, and this is my progress. So I have the cat all the way done. I'm starting that Christmas tree, and I am stitching this on 14 count Fiber on a Whim cream and sugar. And I got this at Fat Quarter Shop. Fat Quarter Shop is carrying some Fiber on a Whim. And I love Fiber on a Whim. I would say my 2 favorite, I have this in linen as well. The linen color is beautiful. But this Ada color, it's a nice cream color. It's very, it's showing up white, but it's not. It's more creamy than what it's showing up on camera. It's blowing out a little bit. It's beautiful. As far as Ada, Picture This Plus and Fiber on a Whim are my 2 favorite Adas. They are so soft, so soft. Love, 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 love stitching with that. So that hopefully will be a finish the next time. Okay, I have a couple more things to show, and I wanted to show those. So I bought some bags from Teresa Kogert from her Etsy store. And this one is a sampler that she recently, I think they're all her patterns, but made into bags. They're very, very simple and cute, but I really like them. You could pick your zipper color. They're very simple bags, but they are nice whip bags for those small projects. Like I have, what do I have kitted up in here? Oh, the Christmas cottage. I have that kitted up in here. I think I want to make this a little smaller so that it can go in my dough bowl. So I wanted to do it on 20 count fabric, and I think I'm going to use 20 count Storm from Bestitch Me. It's not, let's see. That's a good indication of the color. I like it because all the colors really pop on it, and it looks kind of like a nighttime. Like, you know, Santa comes at night. So that's what I kind of want to use. But I do want it as small as I can to get the size down just a little bit to make it more manageable, because it is, I have been kitting this up so my pattern is not the way it's supposed to be with the dimensions on the outside. So let's see. And I'm sorry, one of my dogs is sleeping. So that's what you're hearing the dog snore. So sorry. He's under the table. This is 146 by 160. So that's getting kind of big for a dough bowl finish. So I thought if I did it on 20 count, it made it really reasonable. So, and because I wanted to do it on such small count, yes, I could use 40 count, I didn't want to do all this counting on 40 count, because there's not a lot of things to kind of reference back to. So it's going to be a lot of counting. So I was like, I'm going to do Ada. And I get to use some great Be Stitch Me fabric. But anyhow, I have those in 2 Teresa Kogert bags, and I really, really like these bags. She has them on her shop. They're really cute. I'm kind of obsessed with those. If I have a big project, they're also good, like a really, really big project, just to put the floss in and keep it in a bigger bag. So, okay. Let me show you some stash that I got. Now, this has been a couple weeks coming in and things that I ordered. Okay, the first one is this Santa's Flight stocking. It's a dimensions kit. That's beautiful. I love the fact that you can see the town down below. Now, I haven't done a stocking yet. I don't know how to finish a stocking yet. Vanna, do you have a tutorial for a stocking? I'm gonna have to look. I've never done one. I would love to do one. I'd love to do this one. So, okay. This I bought at my L&S when I went down there. Hickety Pickety with Brenda Gervais with Thy Needle and Thread. And I just thought that was really cute. I won't stitch that till the fall, till I do next year. Here's another stocking. This is from Dimensions Santa's Truck stocking. I obviously got stuck on stockings one day, and just so you know, if you wanted to do a stocking to see if you like doing a stocking, while this is a great pattern, if you love cats, it's not going to take me that long to do. Like, it's really not. So you could actually do this pattern pretty quickly. I think this one is still available on 123 Stitch, but I don't think Birder Cup is publishing anymore, so you'd have to find somebody that has it in stock. But this one wouldn't take long at all if you just wanted to stitch one to try. All right, this is from Stash and Load, Waxing Moon Designs, Merry Musings, and it's Life is Short, Drink the Eggnog, Eat the Cookies. And then the other one says, I just want to stitch and watch Christmas movies. And I really liked the gingerbread one to do for my gingerbread bowl. Here we have another stocking. This is Letty Stitch? I don't know. I didn't know. Letty Stitch. Okay, sorry. I've never done one of their kits. I've never actually had one of their kits. It is nicely organized, so I will give them a plus for having it organized like this. I would actually use this thread. I don't know. I think they used Anchor colors, it says. So you could find a DMC conversion if you didn't want to do Anchor. But I really liked this. Sorry, I should show you the kit. With the church and the animals. I just think that's so sweet. 123 Stitch. Okay. This is another one that was sitting in my cart from Sue Hillis Designs. It is Alphabet in Blanc. I think this is very pretty. This one is Easter Preparation from Twin Peak Primitives, and I think it's so cute. I really, really liked the colors. I am not a huge pastel person, so to me, these colors were great for Easter. Yes, I know I could change any pattern and not have them be pastels, but I liked, this really caught my eye. My sister does not like animals doing people things, so I asked her, was it okay that the bunny was painting an egg? She said she'd let it fly for Easter. It was okay. So that's her thing. I was like, hey, do you like this pattern? She's like, it's animals wearing clothes. No, I don't want that. So I love to give her a hard time with that. This one I saw on Katie's Stitching's YouTube or Flosstube, and she had finished this. It wasn't her stitching. She had finished it for a friend, and I asked her what the pattern was. So it is from Little Stitch Girl, Shake Your Bunny Tail. And I really like that. Now, I think I will possibly use the colors from this pattern in that to change the colors to make it not so light. Although these aren't bad. These are not bad at all. So I might change, and that won't take long at all. It is 88 by 71. Super, super quick one. Oh, I already showed that one. This is Country Christmas Stockings from Twin Peak Primitives. Once again, apparently one night, this is what I do. I get in bed and I shop and I order things because I get in my mind like, oh, wouldn't it be great if I did stockings for the kids? That's what I do. And then I forget it's in my cart and I buy it. This is Piece of Christmas, and I liked all of these, but I really like the stocking on there. There's several in here I like. Let me show you well, I don't know which one's the front. I'm going to show you this picture because it's the best. I thought that was very, very pretty of the Holy Family. I actually didn't buy it to do it the stocking, but just to do that portion of the pattern. I think that's very pretty. I don't know how many. Sometimes on these, you're just getting the dimensions of the stocking, so you can't really tell how big that would be. So I have to go in there and kind of like tally it up. I would probably have to do it on a very small count, but it's really cute. Okay, another Christmas stocking. This is Dashaway from Stony Creek. Really cute too. This is Cooler Classics Charts Nativity Stocking. Once again, I might just do that Nativity as a finish, not as a stocking, because I think that's sweet. But I do like the whole stocking. I don't like that Cooler does design art on the front of their patterns because I think their patterns are better than what they look like. I wish they showed actual stitching because I think they're really good. I don't think the design chart shows it as well. Like this yellow doesn't look great, but it will look great. Okay, this is Arlington National Cemetery from Posey Collection, and I really liked the idea of doing some of these as smalls or as a dough bowl for Memorial Day, Veterans Day, and all of those things, and being able to put them out. So it has the grave of the unknown soldier. It has some monuments. I loved that. I thought that was really, really nice to be able to put it all together. I don't know how big these are. I haven't opened this up. It looks like it's an 8.5 by 10 on 18 count fabric. So I probably would break them up. Like you could even do the top section and then do the bottom section as a dough bowl. I thought that would be pretty. Keeping in mind, I really, really liked this. This is a small stocking, but it's the White House stocking from Posey Collection. And I thought that was really cool. I hadn't seen that before. I just thought that was neat. These are two patterns. It's the part 1 and part 2. One is designed by the Blue Flower and the other is designed by Letty Stitches. But you can do them, I'll show you in the back. You could do them as a big chart or you could do them individually. And I like all of them. So what I figured out is that I need something between, it'd be great to have something for the beginning of the summer because like Memorial Day, you can put out, you know, any kind of Americana. And then I left it out up until like last week. So I need something else to sub out all of that, like after 4th of July, maybe for the month of June, it would be nice to have beach stuff. I do bees, Americana, and I think those were the only 2 themes I had for the summer. I need to do another theme for the summer because our summers are really hot, really long. So I would like to do maybe beach and farm next year. So I'm going to focus on some of those patterns for next year. Okay. Here is another one, Jardin Privé, and it's an ABC sampler, but it's a big band sampler. And I liked the idea of doing this once again to put where I have Lizzy Kate Halloween Rules on the side of my cabinet. And so I'd like to be able to do some band samplers to switch out. This is Santa Please Fill My Stocking from Homespun Elegance. I thought that was cute. This is Cricket Collection Christmas letters, and I'm not sure if I got this on Stash Unload or not. I like the letters, but I like that you could spell stuff with the letters and do different things. So I really liked that. The letters were really nice in this one. Okay, this one I got at my local L&S, and I will tell you, this is not a great representation of what this chart is. It is beautiful. It was on the wall, and I asked them, I was like, do you have that chart? I didn't know who made the chart. Sorry, I'm shaking the table. And she went and found the chart for me, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I never would have thought that that was the chart. It is from Praiseworthy Stitches, The Visit. Once again, this is a chart that I don't think the marketing department quite is showing its beauty with the picture on the front cover. It is beautiful stitched up. This is more yellow. It's beautiful, beautiful. So I got that one at my local L&S. I also got some more stockings because I have never done a shepherd's bush. I really want to stitch a shepherd's bush. So I really liked the Santa. So I thought about just taking the Santa out and the deer and stitching them. But then all of the shepherd's bush have like this little runner down here that has like cute little things too. So I ended up getting 2 of them just to kind of look at them and study them. And I liked the shepherd. So I got 2 of those stockings. I know these are on 1, 2, 3 Stitch, but I will say the pictures I see online are not good. The picture on the front of it, once again, I think they could have done a better job with the marketing. This one is a little better because they focused in on it. But see, there's so much in this picture that, like, I just want to see the chart bigger. I want to see the picture bigger. So, I mean, not that any of those people care, but I think they're great patterns and I don't think it shows up as well. Okay, the next ones I got, I actually ordered this from Sue Hillis Designs website, and it is the yearly Santas that she has. And I didn't even know she had yearly Santas. So, like, this one is the Traveling Santa. I have one of these kitted. I have the Gingerbread Santa kitted. This is the Snowflake Santa. Now, what I'm trying to decide on here is I would like to do these as ornaments, once again, to have Santas on my Christmas tree, to go with the Prairie Schooler Santas. This border adds a lot of stitches to it. And so if I could leave this border off, I could condense it a little bit. Now, this one has the snowflakes out there, but like, there's a lot of blank space in here. So if I did just the Santa, I feel like I could get them a little smaller. So with the border, they fit in an 8 by 10 frame if you do it on 14 count. Obviously, I would do it on a smaller count. This is 96 by 122. So if I did it on a smaller count, I could make these work. And I'm definitely one of those people, like if you're going to buy a series, I feel like I have to have the whole series. This is For Friends Santa. This one, I'm going to go ahead and tell you, is a hard pick for me. Like I had kitted up the Gingerbread Santa. But this was a close second, which is the Santa's Ark. I love that. Love that. This is Stitching Santa. He's super cute. This is Cookie Santa. So he would be really cute to finish him and put him in with my gingerbread. This is Poinsettia Santa. Is it poinsettia or poinsettia? I don't know. I've heard it pronounced both ways. My mother would say poinsettia, but I've heard it, I don't know. I don't have poinsettias in my house because they die. I also think they're toxic, so I don't want my animals to eat them. I think they're gorgeous, but plants come to my house to die. plants. I'm very proud. I have a pot on my front porch with this ivy it has like a little fairy house in it, and it's super cute, and I've kept it alive for like 5 years, and I'm super proud of that. Anybody who gardens, don't leave me a comment, because I suck. So I'm super proud that I kept ivy alive. This is Stocking Santa. Pajama Santa. He's so cute. And look at that quilt that he's holding. How cute is that? This is Candy Stick Santa. Patriotic Santa, and I really like him too. The colors are really nice. Okay, and then I also bought this one. I think I got this at my L&S. And I think these are really cute for 4th of July. It's called Home for the Picnic, but I really like that you have this, the balloon says, oh my stars, you've got a bicycle, you've got an ice cream cone, like a little truck, you got a fireworks sales truck, you got a little antique car down here. So here's the firework, the bike, little pickup truck, but here's the ice cream truck. I just thought it was really cute Americana without being over the top Americana or a fly. I mean, I really liked this. I thought that was really cute. This is on Stash Unload. This was Snowman Trio. As I'm showing this, I realize how bad all this looks. But this is a judge-free zone, and I know that like shopping and stitching are two different things. Okay, so these go in another pattern that I have. I actually didn't get these recently. Winter Wienerland and Sweater Weather. So I like these little dog series that they have from Plum Street Sampler, and I actually have a box of all of them, or a bag. So if you've never seen these all, let me just show you. Because they're not, I have some of them kitted up here. But this is Turkey Sausage. This is Ugly Sweater Weather, which is actually what I want to do for Christmas. Halloweenies. You got Spring Rolls, I guess I should say. This is Winsome Pear. And it's not exactly the same series, but I think it's cute because it's a little 4th of July dog. Yellow Polka Dot Bikwini. Little summer one. And then Jeans and Weenie. And then these are Teeny Weenies. And I don't know what season this is, but it's just a funny pattern to me. And my sister, if she's watching, has just shut off my floss tube. Dogs wearing sweaters, she's done. But I thought I have them all in a bag, and I'd like to do some of those. All right, so let's see if I could do this without tipping this. Since I'm already like doing a long floss tube, let's just go with it. So I showed you some of my Christmas basket stitching that I'm doing, and I pulled out some winter patterns that I will be stitching so that I have stuff after Christmas. I need to start some of these pretty soon, but I don't know that I've showed you all of these. These were pulled out of my cabinet. Some have been kitted in the past. Once again, with my seasonal basket, I pull them and I put them in a seasonal basket. It does not mean that I'm going to stitch everything in this basket. It's not going to happen. It's not going to mean that I don't go through this basket and say, this pattern I'm going to save for another year. I'm not going to get to that this year. I'm going to save it till next time. This is just so it's easy for me to access. When I sit down and say, I need to do another start, my basket sits right beside my desk. I pull it out and I can flip through here. And really the way that I do it is, what do I feel like stitching? And that's how I pick. I mean, it's just as simple as that. So this by all means is not my total goal. And I know I won't stitch all of this. I will put some of these back into the cabinet, and that's okay. The first one is, this is winter, okay? This is Ice Skating Globe. Otis, no, we're not going to do that right now. From Bent Creek. And it is a kit. So I would like to stitch. I've never stitched one of their kits, and I have several. I just need to do it. This is, check it out, and you saw this in my stash recently, Ode to Snow. And I just love that checkerboard snowman. This is Snowy Night from Trilogy. Now, this is a 2006 Christmas ornament catalog, but there's two of them that I really want to do. Actually, I see a couple more now. So I like this snowman here. I like this snowflake, and I really like him. So those can go after Christmas as well. So that's why I have it stuck in here, that it'll give me an option for after Christmas. I think this is a chart that doesn't belong in here. Yeah, I think it's a chart that doesn't belong in there. I also have the Frosty Forest pack. And it's all these little snow scenes that I'm going to do individually. You can do these as a big sampler. It's from Country Cottage Needleworks, but they're all snow. They're not Christmas. They can go afterwards. So those are in here. This is Be Merry. I probably would leave the wording off just to make it, and probably change the red scarf to blue to make it more just wintry. This one is not a Christmas or a winter one, but I really, really love it. And I have it in my cart here, or I've had it kitted. It is Bright Needle, the Needle Shop. I love those. I'm so obsessed with these house designs. So I have it kitted up, and I just stuck it in the basket so that it's there. It probably will move from my winter basket to my spring basket. These are Tidy Tidings with some Roman numerals. Let's not even try to decipher that, but it's all winter scenes. Penguin, Snowman. That's a Lizzy Kate. This is Foxwood Crossings, and it is called RFD Sledding. And it's just a sled scene, and I think it's really, really pretty. This is Primitive Stitching from, this is on Etsy, and I don't know that this has a name. Yeah, it doesn't have a name, but it says, Do You See What I See? And it's a cute little deer and a little girl in a winter scene. And then we have Winter Homestead from the Humble Stitcher. They're also on Etsy. This is White Christmas from the Little Stitcher. She's found on Etsy. Some really pretty, just really pretty patterns. This is Country Rustic Primitives, and it's Merry Winter Snowman Pen Keep. So he's just a really simple snowman. Bad picture because you can barely see it, but they're really nice patterns. Okay, this is Mill Hill Never a Pair, and this is just snowmen, and you have some gloves down here. Really cute patterns. I think I would change the colors. I'm not crazy about their coloring on Mill Hill on these. I think they need to be brighter reds. I think that's the part I want to change. I think they're more maroony, so that doesn't belong in there either. This is Hands-On Design, Let's Talk Winter. We have Priscilla and Stitching with the Housewives, Winter Berries. And this is from the 2020 Winter Christmas Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine. I printed it out. This is also from the same magazine. And this is Polar Bear Adobe. And he's super cute too. My printer is off on coloring. You can see what happened. So it's actually nicer than that, but my printer was running out and I was like, I don't even care. It's cover art. It's fine. This is Winter Cardinal Etching from Heart and Hand. I have a punch needle in here. I don't know if I will ever get to it, but I also have a finish from the Creative, from the Twisted Sister. And here's the punch needle. And then I have Frolicking on Fern Hill from Teresa Kogert. What is this? Oh, these are some more Lizzy Kate. And these are the Flip It series. I think you can put these all into one pattern. So I'll just show them, but I will do them individually. Yes, you can put them individually, or you can put them in one pattern. I have those kitted up. This is Too Sweet from the Snow Row series, Autry AM. I just think he's cute. I really like him. Part of my pattern is back here. I need to put that in a thing to protect it because it's coming apart. This is Foxwood Crossing Harrisburg Winter. So just really pretty winter designs. And you don't have to finish them on the sleds. All right, let's go through some of these. These are from my stash. That one actually needs to go in the spring one. Actually, here's some that need to go in my spring one. So you see, I start pulling them out and putting them in there. So this is Saturday Market. I think that's cute, from the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. And I will put those in my spring categories ones. This is Spring Sampler. And this is Up, Up, and Away from Frosted Pumpkin. When they had their sale, I bought those. All right, back to winter now. This is the monthly sampler series from Waxing Moon Designs, and this is February, and I just love this design. So pretty. It is 168 by 111 long. So I don't know if I'll do the border, just to try to get it down a little bit, and I'm going to do it on a small count fabric. This is Snow Pants from Not Forgotten Farms. This is the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery Snow Much Fun at the North Pole. Let me try to get this. I think I have a delivery coming. There is, I don't think I have, I think this is a free pattern. Yes, it's a free pattern from Brooke Books Publishing. And it is Stupid Cupid. Is that right? Stupid Cupid, yes. And then this black and white, in case you didn't want the color. This is Delivering Roses from the Housewives. This is another Mill Hill Snowman one. Once again, I would change the coloring on here. And this is Cozy Gingerbread Snow Globe. That almost fell. From the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. This is a spring one I stuck in here for some reason. Easter Parade Blackbird Designs. I need to stick that with my spring. This is one of mine that I really want to do, so I think that's why I pulled it out, to make sure I put it out there. Okay, this is a limited exclusive. It was 2020, Skating on the Pond, and it's from Twin Peak Primitives. And when you bought it, you got the bag, it's fully kitted, and I think it even came, yes, it comes with a coaster, and a thread drop. So kind of nice. It has the fabric, it has a charm, and then the pattern. So I don't know if it's still available or not, because they are limited times. This one is one that I must do. It is the Cricket's Companion from the Cross-Eyed Cricket, and it's winter. And I got this off of a stash unload group, and I want to do winter. I think it's so pretty. So, so pretty. All right, let's see if I can start whittling this down some. This is another series, and this is Country Cottage Needleworks Snow Village. Now, it's a whole series of Snow Village. I plan on changing the red to a blue, just to make it snowy versus Christmassy. I don't think it's overly Christmas at all, but the red kind of makes you believe it's Christmassy. So if I change it to blue, I think it will be less Christmassy. Okay, I also have the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery Year of the Tiger 2020, so that definitely has to be stitched. You have Hello Winter. You have Winter Wonderland. And if you get the Year of the Tigers, they have many, or the year of patterns, not the tigers. 2023 is the year of the rabbit. This is Pole to Pole Snow Globe from Thistles. I think that's really cute winter pattern. All right, let's see some of these that I've had kitted up, because if they're in these bags, it means I've had them kitted up for a while. This one is Plaid Tidings from Little Stitch Girl, and they're just really cute plaid houses. Very wintry. This was supposed to be stitched this year. I did not, but it's 2021 Year of the Ox. But I think like a whole basket of just the year of would be really cute. So I might stitch all the older ones too that they have available. You know, in my spare time. Okay, this one is in here, and I've talked about this before. I am a huge fan of Needle Love, and Needle Love has this one. It's an old pattern. You have to hunt it down. It's with this ring, and it has a bride and groom. And I want to do those into stand-ups, just like you see, for Valentine's Day, because bride and groom love, but I want to leave it out through my anniversary, which is in March. So that's kind of where I have that one in there for. This is winter and then Valentine's Day. I guess I should have said that too. Okay, here is the Teresa Kogert sampler of that bag. And it is For the Love of Nature. And I really, really love this one, but I'm doing smalls this year, so I haven't started it. I really want to. This is Kawaii Winter Sampler from the Frosted Pumpkin. I won't do all of it, but I will pull out ones to do. Let's see what else we got here. I'm just trying to fumble through here if there's something in here that you haven't seen before. Oh, here's a nice one. This is Prairie Schooler From the Heart. This is a very old pattern. I want to see what number it was. I don't see the number, but those Valentine's Day ones. Prairie Schoolers are one of my favorites. Celeste from Celeste Creates did a Prairie Schooler, and she did a beautiful job on it. I loved it. But she was like, I'm not really a Prairie Schooler fan. I would stitch another one, but they're just not high on my list. And I'm like, oh my gosh, did she just say that on Flosstube? I don't think you can say that. Celeste, I love you, but you can't say that. Prairie Schoolers are awesome. No, I'm giving her a hard time. Prairie Schoolers are awesome. I love Prairie Schoolers, but everybody has different taste. But she did such a good job on it. I'm like, I'm so obsessed with it just because she stitched it. So, all right, this is Silver Creek Samplers Reaping Love. And I love that you could do this for Valentine's Day because it says I love you to death. Or you could also put this up for Halloween. So I love patterns that you're kind of like, is it a Halloween one? Or is it a Valentine's Day one? What's your guys' thought? Valentine's or Halloween? This is Winter Arches. I think he's really cute as a stand-up. All right, just a couple more. Oh, this one. This one is so nice for like a Valentine's. It's my betrothed. I don't know how to say that word. I can't say it. So it's from Birds of a Feather. I thought it was really pretty for Valentine's Day. It's a huge, huge sampler, but I really liked it. And maybe I wouldn't do the whole sampler for Valentine's Day. Maybe I would do just the center section for Valentine's Day. But I really like it. And betrothed. Why can't I? I'm putting an F on the end of it. Okay. I just need to stop. This video is going way too long. Somebody's yelling at the screen. Say it right. I can't. I just can't do it. This is from My Darling Plum by Megan Bush. It is definitely a Etsy pattern that I've had forever. And it says, I've taken a Viking to you. And I just think it's the sweetest Valentine's Day pattern. I want to stitch that this year. This year, that one is getting stitched because I've had it forever and I love it. All right, that is not a winter or Valentine's Day pattern. Let's see what else we got. We got some little ones in here that should go quickly. Okay, that's not... Sometimes I just throw patterns in here because I really like them and I want to do them, but I just throw them randomly. This is Snapshot January. Really cute. These are some monthly ones from Heart and Hand, and it's February, January, and March. And I'll show you those. So I stuck those in there. This is the winter sampler from Country Cottage Needleworks. Really cute. This is Snow Village from the trilogy. It's really cute too. This is Snowman 10 from Lizzy Kate. Little snippet. I actually think this one goes with the other patterns that no, it doesn't. It goes to another set. 12 Stitch All 12 Jingles. So apparently they go with the jingles, but I thought Deck the Halls, I would not put Deck the Halls in there. I just liked this for a little winter scene. This is January, February, March from Square Dance from Heart and Hand. And here is another set of Heart and Hand monthly ones. This is January, February, and March. Let me show you those. All right, let's see here. This is Winter Wind from Prairie Schooler. And this one I've had kitted up. And this is my working copy. And I couldn't find my hard copy, but I think I put it back in the drawer. But it's my working copy of it. And this is February Prairie Schooler. But I really, really like... of course I like it all. But I really like this one. And I think you can even do this in sections, like the top part in a section and then the bottom part. Helen D has a pattern that she just recently showed in her last Flosstube where she did just like the picture portion of these monthly samplers. And it was a, I think it was August. I could be wrong, but it was one of the summer months ones. And it was so pretty. So if you haven't checked that out, check out Helen D. She put a video at the end showing all of her summer stitching that she had out. And it's a Prairie Schooler tin that she has sitting on the shelf. And there's small Prairie Schooler beachy ones. And then she did like that little portion of the monthly sampler. It is so pretty. So pretty. This is Prairie Seasons. And then, of course, I would do the winter one. And then this is December, and I like, it says December, but I actually like the picture part for winter. Once again, I think I would change his coloring on the person just to make it more wintry. This is Heart and Hand Winter, and it is kitted up already. And then we have Roveris Snow. Okay, last ones I'm doing. These are Lizzy Kate, and they go together to make a big picture, but I won't do them that way. They're little snow patterns. What are these called? Snow Story. And here's the other one. Arctic Nights. I lied to you. I thought these were all Lizzy Kate. This one is. This is Winter from Lizzy Kate. Okay. So that is my winter basket. And once again, I will pull from them and pull from it and start stitching out of it. Somewhat soon you'll start to see some winter, just so that I have some overlap, so that when I put my Christmas stuff away, I have some things that I can put out. So yeah, that's my winter basket. No pressure, stitch what I like, what I want, when I want, and have a good time with it. So okay, so do you guys like looking through those baskets? Do you guys like me to do my flip through of my baskets? Sometimes, like when you see my spring basket coming up, you might see some more that I had last year that I didn't get to. I didn't stitch them, but I really like the patterns, so they got put back in there. You might see some new patterns in there, or something new might hit me and I say, oh, this would be great for spring. And so do you guys like seeing those flip throughs? It does make the videos long when I do one, but I get a lot of comments that that you guys like long videos. So let me know in the comments if you like it or not. If you're really opposed to it, let me know. Or, did you already leave me? Don't forget to enter the giveaway. Like I said, it is open to everybody. If you don't already like and subscribe, please do that. And go and like and subscribe to Deb at Frog Cottage Designs as well. Come back and comment here. And so you guys can be entered to win the pattern. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you, Deb, for giving our giveaway this week. And I will see you back in 2 or 3 weeks. I think I just need to say that so that if you see me pop up in 2 weeks, it's like, yay! But if I don't get back for 3, you're not totally disappointed. So thank you so much. I'll see you guys next time. Happy stitching. Stay safe. I'm stopping now. I can't talk anymore.